Thank you for coming today for this very important topic that we're going to be talking about that has to do with our youth. For far too long, the state of Connecticut has been a little behind when it comes to funding for our youth. And this is why we're here today, not only for the funding, but for the worry of funding that may be cut. So I know you all here for this reason, just as I, and you all believe that Connecticut's youth, regardless of their backgrounds, regardless of their involvement in juvenile justice system, they deserve the support, they deserve the resources, and they deserve the love to try and get them back on point from the things that they've done. So this is something that we are going to be talking about through the many speakers that we have here today. We cannot sit back while some children are given every chance to succeed while some are left behind. And that is what happens a great deal in the state of Connecticut. So it leads me to having one question for us today, and I need you to sit with that for just a second. And that question is, does our juvenile justice system empower young people, or does it trap them in a cycle of despair? Does it empower them or trap them in a cycle of despair? And when we don't fund and we don't provide the things that our youth need to grow and to get educated and to have that active life with the programs that are provided or that we can provide, we leave them in a cycle of despair. And they become the victims, and we become those that are not doing what we're supposed to be doing to make them succeed. So let's be real. When a young person commits a crime, more often than not, it's a crime of desperation. And that is a crime where they need, or it's a cry for help. But what is the response? Do we invest in them? Do we address the root cause? The poverty, the trauma, the lack of opportunity? Those are the things that we need to address. Those are the things that we fail not to address enough of. And the question is, or do we criminalize childhood, or do we punish poverty? Because when we don't give them an answer to the issues that they're going through, we're punishing them. And most of the time we're punishing them because of the poverty and because of they don't have the tools that are necessary for them to succeed. Too often we call for harsher penalties. A lot of people are yelling for harsher penalties for kids until it becomes their family, or until it becomes something that not only that black and brown people are affected in, but white children are affected in. And we have to remember that we have to treat all children the same. And we can't take action only when all of them fall into it. It has to be for everyone. So let me be clear. Our youth are not the problem. Our youth are the solution. We need to stop treating young people like a burden and start recognizing them as Connecticut's greatest asset. And this is why we're here today. Because we refuse to define young people by their worst mistakes. Because House Bill 6509 that we're going to be working on matters. The Juvenile Justice Policy and Oversight Committee has put forward critical 2025 recommendations. And this means pre-arrest diversion, so we keep kids out of the system in the first place. Youth representation, because who better to fix the issue than those who have lived it? Real entry success planning with education, vocational training, mental health support, so young people can survive. These changes are urgent. We all are talking about reform, but at the same time, youth programs are being defunded. We cannot defund things if we want to make a good change for the reform of things. So how can we say we support juvenile justice when we're cutting the very programs that keep our kids out of the system? How can we say we care about youth while making it harder for them to access mentorship, job training, and safe spaces? And that job training is one of the biggest ones that we're very stuck with. We need to make sure that our youth have the opportunity to have job training. The youth need to have a working environment to keep themselves experienced in the things that they need to be experienced in and to have something to do. We cannot allow these cuts to happen. We cannot let the budget decisions fail our kids. We will not allow our children's futures to be sacrificed for a short-term financial goal. We know what works: prevention over punishment, investment over incarceration, empowerment over exclusion. And let me be clear, justice for our youth is not a privilege. It is a right. We have seen progress across the nation. Youth incarceration has declined by 77% in the last 2 decades, but the fight is not over. The United States still incarcerates more youth than almost any other country in the world. Black youth are 5 times more likely to be in custody than their white peers. This is not justice. This is a failure of leadership. So here's a message for administration and my fellow legislators. It's time to fully fund youth services, protect vital programs, and definitely pass House Bill 6509. Our kids deserve better than empty promises. They deserve actions. And I need everyone here today to make that choice. Are we going to keep pacifying a broken system, or are we going to fix it and make it better? The time is now.